4 years and 24 tournament matches winning streak. This is how long I was not able to beat Hero Marine, and we finally done it. 25 win streak, not gonna happen. I beat Hero Marine, the top 11 player in the world, and probably my biggest nemesis when it comes to Protoss vs Terran in Europe. I always found Hero Marine to be a very difficult opponent for me, simply because he is one of the players that is very stable in the matchup and has a lot of practice versus the weirdest kind of things in Protoss vs Terran. And I feel like he is very, very strong because his build orders are very well refined. He does them very well, and he can even beat the top Protosses in the world with his great timing attacks. My Protoss vs Terran is not that strong, and I feel like his playstyle just matches very well for him, and hence, in this tournament match, I was definitely the underdog. This is the best of 3 in the ESL Open Cup, where I played versus Hero Marine in the quarterfinals of the tournament. It was supposed to be a normal Monday, and I did not specifically prepare for this tournament. I didn't have special practice for this. I wasn't expecting to win. I was not aware that this is the 25 series win streak possibly for Hero Marine. I did not notice that this is a 4-year low streak for me as well. I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. For me, this is just another tournament match versus the great player that Hero Marine is, and I just wanted to play my best. So in this game on Hecate, I played 1 gate expand. I decided not to scout versus him. I wanted to get myself some kind of a small advantage over Hero Marine, so I played it a little bit more economically focused without a scout. I chrono boosted out an adept as soon as possible because I know Hero Marine is the type of player to go for a Reaper and Reaper Scout. I went around the map with my pro, by the way, just to make sure that it does not get intercepted by Reaper. And I know Hero Marine really likes to jump in with the first Reaper in the main base to see what the Protoss tech building is. And I waited a little bit with my first adept just to see if the Reaper is going to jump in. I waited with the shoot, so then I got the 2 shots of the adept, and I followed the Reaper with the Reaper shade. I chased down the Reaper with the adept shade to snipe it down. You need 3 adept shots to kill a Reaper. In the meantime, the probe scout is going across the map. I see that there's no expansion, there's no command center, so this is a double gas build for my opponent, and I'm trying to prepare for any kind of aggression that is going to be coming near me. I definitely was happy to kill the Reaper, and I also spotted with the probe out there that this is going to be a Cyclone build from my opponent, not a Widowmine job. So I'm definitely needing to prepare for a frontal attack somewhat soon. I decided to go for a 4-gate blink opening here, because I thought that I might try to get a cheeky victory. Since I already spotted the Reaper and I killed the Reaper and I spotted the Cyclone, I know there would be no follow-up Widowmine job to deal with the 4-gate blink. So I thought it would be my best opportunity to at least put a lot of pressure on Hero Marine, and best case scenario, win the game straight up. As soon as my gateway finished, I tried to warp in a couple of Stalkers to make sure that I can defend the early aggression that is going to be coming my way. If the turn is playing double gas, you should always be expecting some kind of harassment. I don't know which side is going to be coming from, but I see the Medivac here, I see the Cyclone moving out, I have a perfectly timed battery in my natural base, and I deflect the harassment quite easily. One thing that Hero Marine saw here is that I am lacking double gas or any gas in the natural base, so I could be going for a 3rd base, or I could be playing with a 4-gate blink. So this was definitely some kind of scout for him, but at least I did not take any damage with the Medivacs. I keep on waiting for more harassment. Maybe I can catch the Medivac. Blink is about to be done, but it's not done yet. I know there's possible Raven harassment as well, but I have a battery in my natural base, I have a battery in my main base, which keeps me safe. And now I'm like, alright, whatever. If he flies in with a Medivac, I'll just recall or warp in units defensively. I just try to send it forward as soon as possible. I have a very good timing, very early warpism, very early 4 gateways. I did not take any damage. So this is technically the best case scenario for me for the 4-gate blink to work, or at least do crucial amounts of damage. I use the warpism to elevate the Stalkers a little bit faster, and I try to arrive with as many Stalkers here as possible. I will have additional warping very soon. I don't want to waste my time warping in units here, so I immediately go to the high ground. I see there's no siege tank, I see 2 cyclones, so I blink forward. I drop the adept first in case there would be a siege tank, and I perfectly snipe the cyclones, snipe the raven, and move forward while also warping in units. Hero Marine in the meantime did drop his units, or actually he tried to pick up his units to the medivac, and I also sniped it. I want to show it to you as well, the action from the actual replay state. And here, so what happened here was the 4-gate blink. Like I said, I didn't want to waste time with this target because look at this. I have money and I can warp in units soon, right about now. But if I do set this prism on the warping mode right here, I need to warp in units in here and then blink them up. So what I do instead is I pick up the adept in case there's a siege tank defending the 4-gate. Remember, he scouted the potential lack of gas, so this could be a 4-gate blink from him, because see, he has double bunker, so he could anticipate that this could be a 4-gate, but there were no siege tanks here. But just in case, I drop the adept first, right here, to tank the potential tank damage if there would be tanks somewhere here, and then I blink in with my stalkers, sniping the cyclones that are locked in on the warpism. Now once I see the warpism is in no longer danger, I warp in the unit, snipe the raven, and now Hero Marine was trying to escape with the medivac with his units, but I snipe it immediately, and now he's basically left with no units whatsoever, while I also warped in additional reinforcement. And it was just a very clean 4-gate blink, kind of like all in, like high pressure on my opponent, but I played a very, very clean game, and I was quite happy about it, because, well, it just worked out perfectly, and we win game number 1 in this best of 3. Game number 2 would be on Oceanborn. I am leading 1-0, but it's not over yet. I've been multiple times ahead versus Hero Marine 1-0, and then I lost 1-2, or just general in tournaments as well. So even though I'm up 1-0, this doesn't affect me in any case. I was just happy with myself that I played a decent game and that it was a clean game. I didn't make any crucial mistakes in that match, and I was able to get a clean victory right there with the 4-gate blink. It is kind of like a cheeky victory, right? It just happens, like Hero Marine was not fully prepared for this. So I know that I need to stay focused to make sure that I can finish the best of 3 series. Now, since in game number 1, I did not scout him, I was trying to switch it up this time to scout, because there could be a potential proxy, or I don't know, maybe he will try to make use of the fact that I did not scout in game number 1, so I'm switching things up in game number 2, and this time I am going to be scouting my opponent, while going for a similar situation on my side of the map, 1-gate expand, but this time with a wall off in case of the Reapers that are possibly going to come my way. Now I see that my opponent is not building a barracks on his side of the map, so this is a proxy. So I'm happy, like, okay, I switched things up, I have a scout, I see this is a proxy, but Hero Marine also likes to do this kind of like a fake proxy, where you scout it, but the barracks is actually, you know, somewhere close, so I'm scouting around with the probe, I see it not being there, so I was like, is it close enough? I'm not sure if I should expand, but I expand anyway with a cybernetics core before the Nexus, and I put down this second pylon in my natural base, kind of following the natural build order. Doesn't matter if it's a proxy or not. However, this is going to be a proxy that is close to my base, and it is going to be my downfall in just a moment. I see the SCV coming in here, and now I confirm that this is indeed a quick proxy. Reaper, could be Marauder, could be Marines, but in this situation, since it's a double gas, it is going to be Reaper. I try to pull probes to destroy this bunker as soon as possible, but the Reaper already arrives before I even have my first unit out on the map, and I lose the probe, and I cannot stop the bunker from going up, because I did skip a Zealot, being a little bit greedy, thinking that this is possibly a fake proxy. If I chrono boost out the Zealot, I can maybe stop the bunker from going up. The Reaper barely stays alive. Versus the Stalker, I wasn't able to snipe it before it goes up in the bunker. And now I'm trying to defend my natural base, but I see a Marine coming up here. And now this is a problem for me, because I have barely any units here. I have a 1 Stalker and I have a 2nd Stalker coming up somewhat soon, but the battery is in the range of a Reaper and a Marine. If it is just a Reaper, this is not such a big of a deal, because the Reaper takes a long time to kill a building. However, Hero Marine is doing something very, very smart. He's actually reinforcing from the proxy and adding Marine to the bunker, which makes the DPS of the bunker so much larger. So in order to respond to that, I tried to go for a second battery as far away from the bunker as possible, but also within the range of the potential super battery. Now the battery dies before I even deal any significant damage to the bunker. This SCV survives, And this battery is also in the range of the bunker, so perfectly positioned bunker from Hero Marine really prevents me from securing this expansion, and I feel in a lot of trouble because I have no tech or anything in my main base. I'm now going for robotic facility. Hero Marine consistently was microing his SV. He doesn't lose it. I barely lose a stalker, but I micro it back. But this is becoming far more damage than I can accept as I try to defend this position. The bunker constantly gets repaired. I lose even more probes. More damage on the stalkers. And in the meantime, this is just a slight pressure from Hero Marine. He also spotted with the robotics facility here, with the Reaper jumping up, which also confirms what kind of tech choice I'm going for. This is not a Twilight Council, this is not a Stargate, and he knows this is a robotics facility first because I invested so many stalkers here, and he knows he can easily put more pressure on me because robotics facility is purely defensive, or I can make an all-in out of it with either Warp Prism or Gateway, but it's just not as powerful. So even if he got this kind of scout, is quite crucial for me. Now I finally managed to break the bunker with 4 stalkers, but this is 4 minutes into the game. I should be thinking about potentially going to 3 bases right now. And as of this moment, I barely have any probes in my natural base. The bunker dies, the Marines dies, and the Reaper dies. I don't lose any stalkers. But if we look at the workers amounts of loss, I lost 5 probes in the meantime. And my opponent is already landing his command center to the natural base. I also have only a single gateway, robotics facility, so I feel under a lot of pressure at this time. Now I know this is about the time that the Medivac should be arriving with either Widow Mines or Cyclones, and I have nothing to deal with it. If it's a Widow Mine drop, I have to protect my main base. If it's a Cyclone drop, I have to protect like both bases because he could be arriving here with the double Cyclone as well. So I just try to take a gamble and put all of my units in the main base. And the Cyclones are arriving in the natural base and I have to GG out of the game. I could potentially defend this harassment with the stalkers that I have, but I already would take too much damage. I am already losing probes in my natural yet again. He would boost away with the Medivac, and what I have at home is absolutely nothing. 1 gateway, 1 robotics facility, robotics bay just started right now, 4 minutes 40 seconds, no additional gateways, no probes. I was just completely dead because of very well placed bunker from Hero Marine and expertly executed attack as well with microing the SCV. So I lose game number 2 and it's all 1-1 right now, ace match. Game number 3 on Alcyone. This is not the map that I'm super happy with, but I didn't have anything against it. You know, after the process of elimination, we were left with this map, and that's perfectly fine for me. Starting on the bottom left, my opponent is going to be starting in the top right. And again, like I said, I was starting 1-0. I pretty much crushed them in game number 1, and then in game number 2, I got completely crushed. And I felt that Hero Marine is taking this seriously, so I was not having high hopes going into this match. I didn't have a specific plan on how I want to play this game. I just wanted to see what my opponent is going to be doing, and I'll try to feel my way through it. I decided to go no scout once again versus Hero Marine. I know he's the type of player that knows that I am worse than him, and he's not wrong about that. So once again, I'm trying to get some kind of advantage, some kind of small economical advantage over him by doing no scout and preparing for any kind of early aggression. So these additional, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 middles might change the course of the game. Give me this small edge that I'll have something quicker, something faster, or something just in time. I go for the cybernetic score before the Nexus. And I'll eventually go for the Nexus on the low ground. One thing that I did already is I put down the second pylon right here in the natural base to block the Reaper path, because this map is very hard to deal with the Reapers. The Reapers have 3 different paths to enter your main base, kind of like 3 paths. This one is from the natural base, so they jump in through here and they go here, and they jump through here. They go just through the front, or they jump in through the side. So since I did not go for a wall off here, I decided to at least block one of the 3 paths to make sure that there's not going to be any kind of harassment from the Reapers, or maybe it will, you know, stop the Reapers from jumping in, getting a crucial scout of my tech structure or something. I chrono boost out the Adept, and I go for the scout on the other side of the map with the late probe. Now this probe is going to be quite crucial. I see once again no expansions similar to game number 1. I see a factory being built. Now I don't see a barracks in the wall off, so I'm like, is this a proxy? Did he try to mind game me? Because remember what I was talking about in game number 2? Here Marine likes to do a proxy, but it's a, you know, a fake proxy with a barracks close by to make the Protoss freak out a bit. Since this is a good map for the Reapers, a proxy would make sense. So I go around here. I check the natural base. And I see double Reaper and an expansion immediately building. So this probe gives me again the confirmation of the fake proxy that Hero Marine really likes to do. And I also see the double Reaper from the reactor, which is crucial information. Because usually you just want to make one Reaper and the Marines from there. But since he's going for double Reaper, I know he will try to do some kind of harassment and try to do damage to me. Now I'm very happy about this pylon because it is blocking the possible Reaper path. So now I need to worry only about the front and the potential jump in through the spot in here. So since I already have a Nexus here, I'm walking in with the Adepts here, protecting the jump spot. Now, I have 3 Adepts here to make sure that I one-shot a Reaper if he comes in here. There's a Hellion, which is a difference from game number 1, instead of a Cyclone. But I didn't really connect the dots in here. I didn't think there's going to be more pressure. I thought it's going to be just 2 Reapers and a Hellion. So I continue building. Blink, I go for a shield battery in the main base because I thought he might want to jump in with the double Reaper in the main base and then 1 Hellion to the natural. That was my thought process. Now I see this attack. 4 Reapers, 2 Hellions. Meanwhile, I only have 3 Adepts. I'm like, holy crapperoni, this is not looking good. I will probably take a lot of damage here. I try to target fire the Reaper because I have 3 Adepts. I use the probes to fight here as well. I use double Adept. He loses the Hellion and the other one as well. He loses 1 Reaper, but I also lose 2 Adepts. And like, what, 4 or 5 probes I think I lost? 6 probes in total, considering it was the scouting probe as well. But luckily the battery finishes just in time, so the Reapers cannot walk around and deal more economical damage. But this is not a great situation for me. I don't feel very good, but this is one of the funny things again. Remember I spoke about this pylon blocking the Reaper path? What Hero Marine was trying to do here is try to do some damage, kill a probe, which he saw that was out of position, and he wanted to jump out of this. But because he didn't see this pylon before, he overcommitted with the Reaper, and he's going to pay the price for it. And he loses additional Reaper. Now, 2 Reapers is not as dangerous as 3 Reapers, of course. So this is a nice move, preventing the Reapers from escaping this pylon. Definitely worth it so far. But once again, I do lose a lot of my economy. This is not looking that great for me. I am only 6 probes ahead. I lost a lot of probes, but I don't feel that threatened. On the other hand, I think Hero Marine also spotted that I have a Twilight Council. Yeah, he did. He did spot it with a Reaper and the Hellion that was still in my main base, so he knows exactly what I'm going for. And he knows this is not a potential 4-gate because he spotted this pylon, and he knows there's not enough pylons for me to have any more gateways. So he knows the timing of the building. So I knew he's not going to be threatened of a potential 4-gate, so I decided not to go for it because it would be simply way too late, unlike in game number 1. This pylon again being useful, defending the Reapers. And there's the frontal attack with the Cyclone. 4 Marines, 2 Reapers, and a Cyclone. I only have a couple of Stalkers here. If I had all of this together, this would have been a little bit easier, but now is going to be an important part about microing these units properly here. Luckily for me, he did target fire the Adept first. Now, what you want to do is you want to target fire the Cyclone. The Cyclone is the highest damage dealer here, and it's very fragile to the Stalkers. However, because the Medivac is around here, I know Hero Marine is a good enough of a player to pick up the Cyclone and waste my Stalker shots. So in order not to waste time on the Cyclone, I focus the Medivac first, decreasing the micro potential of this army, and then I go for the Cyclone. And I kill the Cyclone first because I drew away the Medivac. And then we kill the Medivac. We have Blink. The Medivac couldn't have enough time to pick up the Cyclone, because it was already being target fired. And now I lose still a couple more probes. I still think it was a worthy trade for Hero Marine. He already killed 8 workers to a 0 of mine, and I didn't feel comfortable in this position now. I'm only 2 probes ahead, 3 probes ahead, and this is a good situation for the Terran. However, I did clean up the Medivac, I cleaned up all the Reapers, so at the very least, there's a potential for me to maybe find some damage on the other side of the map with Blink. In the meantime, I decided to go for Templar Archives this time, and a 3rd base shortly after. I thought maybe Storm is going to be my best case of coming back into this game, simply because I know Hero Marine really likes his Ravens, and I think going for Colossus will make it easier for him to fight against what I will possibly have. So now I'm trying to wait out for the Warpism. and go for harassment in the main base. In the meantime, I'm being attacked in my natural base with a Raven. Now, another unfortunate situation for me is that he uses this Raven in the natural base where I don't have a battery. In the main base, I had a battery, but Hero Marine knew about it because of the earlier Reaper and Hellion harassment, so he knew the Raven would not find any damage here. And also what Hero Marine sees here is the High Templars, which I kind of wanted to hide. I wanted him to think this is possibly Colossus or something. I definitely didn't want to show my hand here, but Hero Marine already spots it, and that's also a slight victory here for Hero Marine because he knows what he's facing. The Raven does quite a bit of damage, but I also do some damage in the meantime with the War Prism and the 4 Stalkers. We trade some blows in here. And I pick back. I try to do some more harassment as I see some units out here. I see a third base being made with the War Prism and the Stalkers, which gives me more information. I snipe a couple of Marines. Good micro right there. I also try to go for the reactor, but there's a Siege Tank in place, in range, so I just decide to back off. The game kind of continues on. Now, at this moment, I wasn't feeling too bad about my game, but I definitely didn't feel that I'm winning or I have a good possibility of winning this game, simply because I know how strong Hero Marine pushes are. And we are 7 minutes into the game, Stim is about to finish, and I know Hero Marine is about to move out on the other side of the map to do his big gay push, which kills me like 99% of the time. I die to the first Hero Marine push. I have barely any units, I took a lot of damage, so I was definitely feeling uneasy about it. What I did is I warped in 4 High Templars, one by one, because I only had double gateways, for these High Templars to gather a lot of energy. I decided to move across the map with the War Prism and the High Templars to deal some harassment to my opponent, and I tried to defend the Raven harassment with the Stalkers. Now, with my Observer, I already see here that he's moving out. This is a small army, so I'm thinking this is maybe like just a pressure or something like that. Like he wants to, you know, move across the map, clear up some adepts or something in the middle of the map. And in the meantime, I'll try to do a Storm Drop here while deflecting the Raven away. But I see he has Sea Snack here, Steamed Marine, so I cannot find the damage here. So I'm feeling very, very uneasy, especially since I'm only on 4 gateways right about now, which I should be already at 8. So defending a big push will become much more difficult than it should be. I warp in more High Templars to get myself an Archon. Hero Marine scans my third base, seeking for the amount of army that I have. My army is like all over the place, but I don't have much. And now I go for the second round with the High Templars, knowing that the Siege Tank alone cannot kill the High Templar in one shot. So I drop on top of it and I storm the SCVs, dealing a lot of damage. I didn't even know how many SCVs I killed here. I know it was a successful storm drop, but now looking at the replay, it was 14 SCVs. So it was a quite significant storm drop, and I didn't realize that in the game. I just know it is going to be somewhat successful, but I didn't know how much. So now it's the time to defend the big push that I know for sure is coming. I saw the middle of the map. There was the move out with the Marines and the Minivacs, but here comes the big gay push. The storm drop delayed it by a bit, which means my Templars are gathering more energy. Right now, what I did is I dropped the High Templars from the War Prism, seeking how much energy I have for these High Templars. Do I have additional storms or not? Looking at them, they have 56 energy, which means soon I will have additional storms. In the meantime, the High Templars that I warped in earlier on have 2 storms each, which is very, very useful in this situation. I see there's still no third base landed for my opponent, and I was able to intercept this Raven. Now, here we go with the storm. I think what Hero Marine thought that I cannot really have that many storms here, so he kind of like walked in all grouped up here, because I did a storm drop just now. I think he was not expecting me to have this many storms, and look what happens, how I intercept this. Beautiful 4 storms. Not only I sniped the Siege Tanks, I also damaged a bunch of his army, including Medivacs. I also take absolutely no damage, and the big gay push that I'm always super scared of, and I usually die to, was completely deflected after also doing a lot of economical damage. So at this moment in the game, I also didn't have a 4th base cancelled. I was feeling very good about it, but I know I cannot keep my guard down. Now, looking at the replay, I should definitely add additional gateways as of now. I still have only 4, I have plenty of money, but I was just so focused on defending and not losing any units right now, because I know there could be an attack anytime coming, or a drop. I was just too focused, so Now, after I have some time, I finally add the additional gateways. This should have been done a little bit sooner. Now, if you take a look at my vision, I don't have that much. I have only one observer here. And I'm trying to prepare for attack from every single angle. Since the frontal attack from my opponent didn't work, I'm expecting drops, Widowmine harassment, anything that could happen right now. So I'm like splitting my army in all of the positions. I have some Stalkers and a High Templar here. I have Stalkers and High Templar here. I have like main army here to protect my 4th base. I have a forward zealot to see if I'm going to be, you know, under attack. I also split some of my units to the left side to see if there's a drop coming, and I built another observer to go and get some more vision. Now, what I was really surprised by is in the middle of the map, I did see triple ghosts right now. Considering how good the fight went for me, the frontal fight, and how much damage he took from the storm drop, I did not expect for Hero Marine to have these ghosts already up and ready. Like, I know they're eventually coming, but they arrived so much quicker than I am capable of dealing with them. My transition to like counter the ghost, which is like, well, counter. Have a usage versus the ghost would be like Colossus or Disruptors. My Robo Bay is not even done yet, and I have to defend the attack. But what I realized, there are only 3 ghosts, with 1 EMP each. So I'm trying to drag out this fight as much as possible. I see everything in here. So I tried not to go all in on this fight, but I just tried to drag out the EMP. There was 1 EMP, second EMP, I know there's only 1 more left. Meanwhile, I have so many High Templars here, and I also have Archons, and EMP is very great versus Archons. So I'm just trying to drag out this fight. Third EMP. So now he has to wait for additional ones, and I still have more High Templars here. I was afraid that I would be losing this 4th base, but because of how patient I was in this fight, I was able to not only not take any damage on my 4th base, I didn't lose much of my army, I also was able to damage a lot of his army. Since I realized there are no more EMPs available, I was trying to flank Hero Marine on the way out, but he was still waiting here with the Medivacs. My army is not perfectly positioned, but I saw it right now, and I was trying to corner it. I'm ready to fight, ready to kill, but Hero Marine picks up everything and goes to the left side. I was thinking he might be going to the right side and just, you know, evacuate from here. And this move was quite smart and definitely caused a lot of trouble for me, because what's gonna happen is I'm warping in here in the 4th base to intercept the drop going to the main base, because I thought he might be going to the main base, but in the meantime Hero Marine is also attacking me in the middle of the map with a big army, and I am not prepared for this. However, I see the Medivac stop. I still have 1 High Templar here, so I storm, and I didn't realize, but this was a full Medivac, full of units. Of course, you cannot know that. And here we go. Hero Marine in the meantime is also attacking me at the 3rd base. The Disruptor was trying to do something here, but not much. Now Hero Marine is going to the main base. I scout the Medivac again full of units. Hero Marine sees that I'm recalling, but he's also attacking me at the 4th base, because I recalled here, he is retreating with his main base. And I'm trying to defend my 4th. I don't have that much storm here yet. There's a flanking High Templar, but it doesn't have enough energy. And I deflected the attacks all over the place. There's also a Medivac drop in the natural base, but I had prepared that battery in a cannon and Stalkers in the meantime. I didn't miss target fire here. I wanted to blink down and snipe the Medivac, but I missed target fire and it was actually not killed. It was just a longer fight. But I defended the harassment and multi-prong attacks quite nicely. So I think, okay, I killed a significant portion of my opponent's army, and maybe it's time for me to find something on the other side of the map. I see Hero Marine in the middle of the map all of a sudden, and I see Medivacs being so much at the front, so I blink forward, snipe the 2 Medivacs, and I'm like, okay, this is not big of an army, let's just keep pushing forward. I know there are some Medivacs on the right side that run away, right? The big portion of his army that was flying in here. I know it was still out there, but I knew it wasn't that big of an army, that scary of an army, and that I could possibly deal with this with the reinforcements. So I tried to go not necessarily for a kill move, but at least a significant move that can crumble my opponent. I sniped another 2 Medivacs, which is a total of 4 in the past 10 seconds. I have so many High Templars here with so much energy, brilliant storms on the army of Hero Marine, and in the meantime we're being attacked here. I try to feed back as well, try to defend my 4th base, but I don't have that much army here. And now I'm just trying to wonder, do I go back? Did I do enough? Or do I go for the kill? Looking at how much energy I have with this High Templars, this is 4 storms, I have a fully healthy Warpism, I have a Colossus and a Warp in here. I decide to not go back, not recall back, but actually keep pushing forward. You can see me hesitating here with my army, what to do. I still have an observer to detect the Widow Mines. I see there's no EMPs, no ghosts here, so I don't want to waste storms just yet. I'm waiting for the army to clump up a bit more. The Archons are doing a significant amount of damage. Good storms on the right side, on the left side. In the meantime, I'm trying to defend with the reinforcements and the Colossus that was produced from the robotics facility. Doesn't matter that I lost the 4th base. My army is like unbeatable here, even though I have weaker upgrades because I did delay them by quite a lot. Heromarine is about to jump in with 2-2, but it's not there yet. So I go for the kill, more storms, more defense on both of the sides, and Heromarine types GG, and we finally break the curse. We beat Heromarine for the first time in 4 years. The 25 series streak, it's not gonna happen. Nobody beats MaNa 25 times in a row.